You're listening to Dumb Down Tech, where we break down tech concepts and we go back to the basics. Today we're going to be talking about on-prem, which basically means a server or computers locally in the office versus cloud-based systems that are hosted somewhere else in another location. They're still servers, but they're not yours. You either rent them or purchase them and have them at a different location so that your information's backed up and safe. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits and the negatives about both sides. In the past, everybody used to want to be on-prem. On-prem allowed you to have more control, be able to monitor your servers because you knew they were in-house. And that was a great way to do it for a long time. However, IT guys realize that there's a point of failure, a single point of failure. That's all in one building. So what happens if your building goes on fire? What happens if a water damage happens and gets on your servers and fries your servers and your information? Well, you're pretty SOL. So IT guys decided we need to come up with an idea that would allow us to keep our data safe and be able to back up quickly in case of emergency. So they started forming cloud services, which when you hear the cloud, most people think that, oh, it's just this big old data farm and, it's somewhere underground. And it is, but it's just a lot of servers, a lot of computers put together in one data center. So even though the days of having a server in your office may be going away, it doesn't mean that servers in general have gone away. They're just moved to another location, like a Google data center or a Switch data center, where they're housed and monitored by bigger companies. Now, you may say, well, I still think that it's better that my information is in my office and I have control and visual over it. But in reality, it's not. You don't have control over it because most of the time in a small or medium-sized company, you don't have the resources to invest in all the security infrastructure and all the security policies and controls and monitoring that you should have. So one of the great advantages of going to cloud services is most of the times they handle a large majority of security. Not all of the security, but a large amount. Now that gives you, as a small company, the ability to hire maybe a small IT consulting firm who can manage those little missing pieces or links to make your security strong in your environment. Cloud services right now are still a little bit new to some people, and they don't want to move their data, their servers, to somebody else to host it. So there's also what's called hybrid cloud computing. What that means is you have some information in your office and you have some information in the cloud. Let's say you want your user access or users to log into a server to get some files. But then you have a server online, let's say QuickBooks Online, right? Which is a cloud application, which is basically cloud computing that connects to your guys' office. Now, that is a hybrid environment because you're utilizing what's inside your office and something outside. So that's kind of the model that most people choose and where their comfort level is. However, we are not heading towards that type of model continuously. We are heading towards full cloud services. And the reason why is because it's so much easier to purchase an application and not worry about setting up a server, setting up the equipment, setting up all the software behind it, having to hire an IT guy to set it all up for you, and then finally using it after maybe months of setting this up. So a cloud service gets spun up right away. You can use it the same hour or maybe even less than right when you signed up for it. The benefit is it's quick to get up and running, and it actually helps you with CapEx. So instead of you having to worry about continually purchasing equipment up front, Now you have the opportunity to move to OpEx, which means you can pay on a monthly basis. So it's coming out of your operational expenses and it's continuing to help your business grow. Now, the other great feature is you can use certain features for a certain price and then move up to the next level when your company is ready. If you had an on-premise server, that means that you are going to have an IT guy update everything, update all the applications on each computer, and it's so much work. So that's why a lot of people are moving away from actual environment in your office to a cloud service. Now, a misconception is that because you do move to the cloud service, that it's going to be more secure. Okay, like I mentioned before, they do a lot of the legwork to do the security behind the scenes, but it's still the responsibility of your company or yourself to make sure that you're using the application properly and that you're securing it properly. If you're using QuickBooks Online, but yet your router hasn't been updated in 10 years, chances are that somebody could be snooping, right? So making sure your router is updated and making sure the app's running on a computer with antivirus, that's how you protect yourself with cloud computing. Now, there are risks with hacking, whether they hack you or they hack the actual company that hosts your data. If that were to happen, you get a report. They know and they notify you what happened on their end, what information was taken. So you're going to have that visibility. In a small company, chances are you don't have logging and your IT guy is not looking at the details. So you're going to be missing a big part of why it happened, how it happened, and you don't know what information was going to be taken. So when do you use an on-prem server? If you're doing very highly classified information, of course you don't want to move it to a cloud services unless they are qualified and certified to hold secret information. But if you're really, really concerned and it's something very top priority, very secret, an on-prem solution is still probably something that you want to do because it allows you to have full control and access of your environment at all times. And the ability to be able to turn off your servers so they do not connect to the internet is much easier when you have them in-house versus cloud services. Cloud services, for the most time, are always connected at some point, at some level. Whereas if you have top secret information on a personal server, you can simply disconnect the internet and use it in-house at all times. So another great reason why I recommend actually moving away from on-prem, though, if you're a company and going to cloud services, is because it allows you to be able to, one, save cost on CapEx, two, lower a lot of your operational costs because you're not having to have IT guys manage the whole infrastructure. Now, sometimes the operational costs are a little bit more depending on the software and the vendor that you use. But in all reality, time and hiring techs with certain experience usually costs more in that case. There's so many ins and outs and reasons why you can go with either or. But the biggest thing to understand is that on-prem is really for very top security and for very paranoid specific privacy concerns. Cloud is the way to go, though, for small and medium-sized businesses because it allows you to be flexible, scalable, grow quickly, make adjustments, and pivot faster than you could with the on-prem server because you don't require actual physical equipment. Well, I hope that helped a little bit about on-prem or on-premises versus cloud computing. But if you have any more questions, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. We have enjoyed you listening today, and we'll be back again next week. Today's Dumbed Down Tech was sponsored by Corporate Design Solutions. To learn more, please visit their website at corpdesignsolutions.com or feel free to give him a call at 702 350 1000.